The day looks like we're in Oregon or Chicago somewhere, like as if it just snowed. In terms of the sky, we're about 78 degrees. I mean, with a light sprinkle. But the sky, man, if you guys been around the world, seen places, Washington, Tennessee, East Coast, Polynesian Islands, Japan, you'll see how the overcast is overwhelming in a lot of places, you know. And Hawaii is just its own beautiful landmark of consistent weather. You know what I mean? To the point to where, like, wow, this thing will not get lower than 60 degrees unless you go up in the mountains. And even up there, Waimea on the Big Island, probably 55. You know what I mean? You know, because you're up. Waimea is not near the ocean on the Big Island. There's a food land up there, so it's up. Not the highest point of Big Island, but it's up there. Where, dang, I walked out of the thing around 5 o'clock, food land around 5 o'clock. I was like, dang, it's kind of chilly out here now, because Hawaii always got that cool, like the wind's blowing, and then you get these little rifts of like cold streams that just like, wow, that's some bomb AC right there, man. It's all fresh, you know. I mean, I had to get out of some places, you know. I can't be up in AC all day and all night, man. No way. I mean, I don't even like it. I wish they just turned the AC off, period, man. And that's for those that just need it, required medically, you know. But I want windows. I want open air. That's why I'm out here right now to take a breather from the gym. I mean, you can start at the gym 5 in the morning. You know, 5 in the morning to about 10 sometimes. You know what I mean? Contract work happens later. These guys like waking up, starting 11, 12 o'clock. You know? And they end around 7. You know, but I'm able to do stuff overnight. Ninja. You know what I mean? Knock it all out. Get it done. Got the key. You know, not everybody gets that, but if you're genuinely honest, people will see that and demand it. You know, they're, oh yeah, we don't mind you do that, okay? Yeah, we working. I go, oh, it's just me solo. I'll be filming everything anyway. You know, because it's prepping the whole entire place for renewal. But it's dope. It's a beautiful thing to have flexibility, to have paradise right there, and you're knocking everything out all at once. You know, some things you want to consider in life, you know, about this new money. You know, nowadays it's all about like, everything's about $1,200 a room, $1,500 a room, $1,000 a room. So do you want to drive 4 hours a day? You know, and live on the freeway? You ain't making no money. You thought you made money, but you living on the freeway, you're probably pumping like 100 grand. You know what I mean? But now, all that money you thought you saved, all went to gas, and time on the road, and wear and tear on the car. Or, you know what I mean? You lower your overhead, come to the place where everything's 15 minutes away, unless you want to go to extreme east, extreme west. You know, you go have lunch halfway, and it's still another 15 minutes. You know, it's easy. And everything's right here. You know? But if you get island fever where you feel like, man, you need to drive, like you can drive to Vegas type idea, then be honest with yourself and be like, no, I can't do it. Don't come and be like, oh, I gotta move out and leave. You just waste your time. You know, straight up. You're smart enough to know already what you want and what you don't want. But a lot of people go with the flow and be followers and not be honest with themselves and create all these scenarios, which is fine. That's them. That's their life. But if you want to advance yourself and find out the truth of the matter, genuine. Be honest with no bias. You know, no favoritism, not even towards yourself. And then everything you do in terms of truthfulness and of the light and of, you know, divine elegance and, you know, all happen with minimum effort. Because you're not prejudiced, man. Not even prejudiced to yourself. And you don't require all these things. You're not idolizing them as a material life. You know, you can embrace any single crowd and it'll never influence you if you don't want it to, especially if it's negative, you know what I mean? You know, there's some positive things that can influence you that you don't want, you know, like positive on being passive, you know, because their belief in religion is all about, oh, be passive, be passive. Those are some things you don't want. What about the children? Protect the innocent oppressed. You got to reread your scriptures. Reread the priority, reread the value. I mean, churches got billions and billions of dollars that can end child trafficking by themselves. The Rome, Papacy, Catholic, Christian, all denominations. I mean, because they all get the same benefits. You know, they all get funded. They all get limited to what they can say. They can't unite people. They got to make people followers and give you the slant of that oppressive book to where, like, they really emphasize whoever God puts as the president, such as George Bush or Kamala or whoever they put, follow them, be obedient to them. Really, that is not real. That's because they want you to be a follower for their industry of suffering. You know what I mean? You know, and everyone else that's righteous, that's don't require none of this stuff, you know, they persecute. The ones that are genuine, the ones that are truthful, the ones that will prove that why would I want to, you know, sell my soul or worship or get this idea that you got to die to go to heaven and believe all these things like that. Why would you want to, you know, have that, you know, that type of message? But they ain't dying to go to heaven if it's so great, because heaven's here, man. You know what I mean? They want you to do all these things, but it's not selfless. It's obedient to the oppressor. You know what I mean? And then condition your mind so warped to the point you're just a blind follower. You're like, man, if I went ahead and made a chord and flipped over tables and, you know, because I was mad or something for whatever reason, or I was just happy, no matter what, that's all a sin. You know what I mean? But if Jesus does it, oh no, he's not a sinner, he's this and that, he's innocent from this, this is his excuse. Well, get ready for all the justification excuses that you're going to make. And because the example's already set, and you're incorporating that in your life. Knowing that, wow, that guy just did that, he sinned? Oh no, that's not a sin. Crazy. Because if you did that, that's vandalism, sin, misdemeanors, felonies, that's whatever they want to put. Especially you're breaking items and stuff like that, it's not even yours. But he could have done this. When they say, oh, he could have, they go, oh, who are you? Well, this is logic, common sense. That's what that is. He could have said, you know what, Pharisee size, these money changers? Let me show you why this is wrong in what you guys do. Let me just share it with y'all. Let me give you guys a more insight to this. But he mirrored their behavior. He mirrored the wickedness. He mirrored the division. He mirrored the continuance of sin by, if he broke those things on the table and they captured those items by sin, they're going to go get and replace those items by sin. I mean, he just duplicated all under the excuse that, oh, that was offensive to God because he's God and get out of here, man. What are you, a human, a God? What are you, man? I mean, but you don't got no sense, though. That's not an option. Your prejudice, your hate, your wickedness overcame you to where that was your option. Well, that's your option. Well, thank you for letting me know. Because you don't qualify. And definitely you ain't divine. And definitely you're just a messenger, bro. I mean, there is no God, man. What are you talking about? That's an oppressive book to create the industry of suffering, the industry of misery. You know? Continue your faith, man. If that's what your faith is. I'm not here to make you stumble. But be aware and be honest with yourself and what you read. Not be a follower of numbness and blindness. I mean, be genuine. Yes, it'll outcast you. But you can be calm and have discipline, have peace within yourself. And you can speak anything you want as long as it's not disrespectful but genuine. And at a nice, pleasant tone. You know what I mean? You know, China will tell you, we don't have freedom of speech here. United States, they'll say, hey, we have freedom of speech, come. Right when you assemble, right when you start speaking about things that are very selfless and genuine and uniting people, they'll send some kind of infiltrator they'll try to slander your name and blame you for this and blame you for that, because they're just trying to crush your movement of uniting people in a genuine way. They fear that. Why? Because they all need a God to self-correct. You know what I mean? That's the idea. That's the mentality. You know what I mean? There's this voice that's within yourself when you're an infant, a book, a written code already that told you all these beautiful things that you didn't have to ask or question anybody until you learn to justify these excuses and become wicked on your own. Let me give you an example. When you were breastfeeding, if you ever did, was a baby getting breastfed, I never did, but, if you're a baby being breastfed, you knew not to try to kill your mom. You know what I mean? You knew not to be disrespectful to her while you're breastfeeding. You knew. And if your mom corrected you, you self-corrected, continued. You knew all these things. That's just a simple one. You know what I mean? Until you got older and started justifying, well, you want to kill ants because you felt like it was funny. You know what I mean? Or you saw an ant die and you're like, I don't want to kill those no more. That little kid already self-corrected, chose to be genuine, chose his heart. And that's what's beautiful about, you can always change and self-correct. You know what I mean? You're never stuck, because it's a choice. But then again, you can't feel sorry for people that live in that misery and live in that chaos and basically are terrorists to themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are so afraid to be genuine. You know what genuine means? That you have no self-interest to deceive them. You have no self-interest to hustle them or lie to them. Information is a privilege, but you're not, being wicked toward them or deceiving toward anyone. You're being genuine, you're being honest. You're being truthful, But you always got to remember, information is a privilege, man. Are you going to go ahead and posting your social security number online? No. That's what I mean. Information is a privilege because people can manipulate the situation. Some people that are so great at lying, man, they can manipulate all kinds of things. You don't even know what to say. You're like amazed by their level of deceit, because they're masters of that, because they know someone that's honest. They know someone, because they're liars. What they're seeing is this. They're seeing a person that they want to be, but they can't choose it. They won't want it because they're just jealous of the fact that they can't be that way. So what happens is that they try to convert you by making excuses, buying you gifts, thinking that they're blessing you, but they're trying to put conditions on you and have you become an advocate of being miserable, an advocate of acquiring material things to be happy. All you gotta do is go like this. If you go about your life without selling your soul, you'll make so much money. Given what money can't buy, made me a millionaire 7 times. Did I have to deceive the government? Did I have to deceive anybody? No. But, man, you gotta experience it. We over me. Bodyguard, protect innocent, oppressed for life.